morning, friends. It's Nancy. I just got a very small haul for today, and I'll bring you up to speed on my junk journal adventure. So I just picked out a few things that I thought were really interesting. So I got these vintage game boards. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. They're cardboard, so I don't even know what game that is. So this one has, this is Snakes and Ladders, and has little people. Look at that little one, he's smoking. Oh, that one's getting a beating. The images kind of look 1920s, 30s, and that's on the back. And this one, I really like the images on this one. And it has a sticker from an antique booth in London. This has Snakes and Ladders too. Anyway, so I was thinking, these are probably, they're square, so I could probably get like a scrapbook page frame and maybe frame them. I just think they're really colorful, and I don't know. Oh, there's one more here. This one also had an antique mall sticker on it. This is Snakes and Ladders. Oh, look at the kids sledding. So this isn't snakes and ladders so much as stairs and slopes. And here's the lid. Oh, Parcheesi. All right. So this also had an $18 tag on it. I did see the whole box. I did get the bingo cards. I only kept the top of the box because it was in pretty good shape. I didn't want all of the pieces, but anyway, so I just couldn't throw it out. So this was at the Goodwill bins, where I paid 95 cents a pound, I think. I also at the bins I got this cross-stitch book of the Edwardian Country Diary of an Edwardian lady, cross-stitch patterns. So I hear on the junk journal videos a lot of people saying, oh, this is an Edith Holden page, this is an Edith Holden page. So I thought, oh, I'll get that. Maybe I can incorporate that into something. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. But it was so quintessentially 70s with the orange and the green and the rickrack and the mushrooms, and I just... So inside is a little cookbook, but there's no recipes in it. It's just a folder, an envelope, where you would put your recipes for certain things. So I like that it's an envelope. So I could probably, I mean, this is simple as just pulling this out, tearing that apart. Even has a record, so you can talk about your dinner parties, what kind of fondue you had that night. I remember good meals and good friends. Miscellaneous. That describes everything I cook. Yesterday I went yard selling with my youngest, who I think this is the second time of his entire life he's ever gone yard selling with me. And he was pretty good. He didn't buy anything. About half of them he stayed in the car for. Anyway, I got this for $1. It's this one he was with me because I couldn't figure out, how do I open this? And he says, I think you just push it out. And you do. You just push it out of the sleeve and open it up. And it's attached by this screw. So I could take it apart and take that screw right out. And then it flips to the different kinds of recipes. Isn't that neat? I can't find a date on it anywhere. Oh, 1961. So, it's getting up there. This, I was super, super excited about. Flashcards. This one I cannot find a date on anywhere. I opened it, and most of them are these illustrations. There is, I think, 4 or 5 photographs. And these are funny enough. These ones I could all recognize. There's a red-winged blackbird, silly cardinal. He's got bedhead. Look at his hair. Meadowlark. But the rest are all these illustrations. Some have 1, some have 2. Some of them are tropical birds, like there's a bird of paradise. And the colors are so soft, and the card itself is buttery. They're clean as a whistle. Okay, 1961. 1961. I just got to open my eyes. Look at that turkey, though. I'm so excited about having this turkey. I'm going to put it up in like a flower frog in the fall. Here's an eagle. They are hardly used because the color... So excited. As soon as I got back in the car, I had to take a picture and put it on Instagram. So I love those. I got some stuff drying over here. So, sorry about this. Come here, little guys. I got this little set. Now I've had this in the... I've had the salt and pepper shakers in purple twice. This is the first time I've had them in yellow. And I got the matching cream and the sugar. And they're all in really, really good shape. No chipping. This eye has a little bit of problem. But otherwise, everything is in excellent, excellent shape. There's the original sticker. It says made in Japan. But all of them have Japan marked on them on the bottom anyway. But nothing. No chips or anything. So I'm just getting those washed to go in the booth today. Oh, I got this sugar shaker. And it has a silver plated lid because I just polished that silver. And it's beautiful. It's heavy. It's just shimmery. You know what would look really nice is some of those old-fashioned hat pins, kind of collected in the holes at the top as an accent somewhere. Or fill it up with flower petals, or like maybe little small silk flowers. Or use it as a sugar shaker. I have a green one of these. Not exactly this size, but just seeing if there's a mark or anything on it, but there isn't. So I think this is sort of turn of the century, just guessing. Did I pay $1 for that? I think I paid $1 for that. Got this little picture. It's Royal Crown Derby, and it's beautiful. I love the shape of the edge here, the scalloped edge, and of course, you know, what's not to love about the blue and white transfer image. Again, really good shape. Did I pay 50 cents for that? Not sure. Can't remember. And this one's still drying. It's got soap bubbles on it. This is a little depression glass. And I do know the name of the pattern. It starts with an M, I think. I want to say it's like Madeira or something like that, but that doesn't seem right. Anyway, Really good shape, no chips, no cracks. Just needs to get the soap bubbles off of it. And I got this pink pitcher, and it's marked Japan. I just love pink. This was 50 cents, and it cleaned up beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video now and just do changing camera angle and show you where I am with my junk journal. Okay, so here we are with the junk journal. So I showed you these pages before. This is the, that next one caught there. This is the craft paper that has the stars cut into it by hand. And in order to reinforce them, I took images out of the books and stitched them on. So the center just has stitching and distressing, but the front and backs have images from the book. And then I have these coffee dyed papers. I have a pizza pan that has these little holes in it, and so when I baked it on the pizza pan, it made this grid. So I tried very intentionally to put the to square it onto the holes. Now, in order to make, because there's a part of the story that has a blizzard, I wanted to make something that kind of looked snowflakey. So these are little doilies, maybe 3-inch, 4-inch, 3.5 inch. So I dipped the paper in coffee, dipped the doilies in coffee, put them in the oven, and it left the imprint of the doilies. And they were on top so that they would be white, and then the back has the grid. So I sewed a little bit of lace on that one. This one doesn't have, oh, it has a blizzard on the back. And I stitched this lace along to make a little pocket there. I got to trim the lace off the edge. And this one also, this one I think is my favorite blizzardy one, because I put the doilies right next to each other, and it came out great. Love it, love it, love it. I stitched lace on both sides. Then I have some maps. If anybody needs any maps of anything, I have a mazillion maps. I've been picking up maps from like old National Geographics. So this one was a map about settling the West or something, I think. So it, I actually used 3 different maps, so I have lots left over. So, you know, it has Missouri and Kansas, and this one said Osage, so that was the native folks that were living in that area at the time. And again, I put a piece of lace across the bottom because I wanted to cover up like that picture. And this one again was about exploring or something. So it has Iowa, Indian Territory, Missouri. And I put a little bit of lace there. 1, 2. Okay, this is the 3rd one. So this one also has Wisconsin, and I put a corner of a hanky there sewed on, and a piece of wide lace here to make tuck spots. This one has Minnesota and Wisconsin. And then I got some music, and I've showed you this before. So this comes from an old playbill that had the music, and this was my old Kentucky Home, which is one of the songs that Pa sings. So I coffee dyed it and sewed on some lace. This one, loving this lace here. This one has a fold out and it's a great image. It's some music, and there was kind of a racial epithet in here, so I wanted to make sure that was hidden. So I sewed lace over it so nobody could read that. This one I kind of pieced together some music so it was big enough. So I sewed them together, put lace over. This has a fold up, so I have a little space there. Okay, this is a card that I distressed, and it'll go in like this. The signature will be stitched here, and then it has, sorry, upside down, it has this fold out. So I sewed on this piece of lace. Nice. And this was some doctored together paper, so I sewed in a coffee dyed doily, and here's some old school paper, and I stitched a piece of plain paper to make it big enough. I did that again with this one. And this is just plain coffee dyed paper. I stitched on some lace, and I used a little bit of cutouts from a doily, a paper doily. This one is also just plain coffee dyed. This one is plain coffee dyed. This one is just dots, no blizzard. Stitched on some lace. And these are just big doilies that I've dyed and baked on that pizza pan. That's a pizza pan one. This one is a like a cooling rack. Okay. So the next thing I did was I watched a video by, I want to say it was Wendy's Journaling Adventures. So she made these tags out of paper bags. So I had got these paper bags at Michael's. They were on clearance, so they were regularly, a package was $4.95 or something like that. I think I paid like $1.19. So I think in her video she used paper. So I took out pieces of an old dictionary that had images of things that were mentioned in the story. So here's a snipe. So the kids at school refer to Mary and Laura as long-legged snipes because their legs are so long and their dresses are so short. And there's a prairie dog and a spool and some spoons. So I just used tags that I had coffee dyed, and I used cutouts from a doily, a paper doily that I had coffee dyed, and this one I took a cutout from a doily and put it on the top as a pull. This one, look at how that dyed nice. So they're very plain right now, but I will show you something I am going to try. We're going to try this together. So I'm just going to tilt the camera just a little bit. And let's bring this one in. So I got these watercolor pencils at the thrift store, of course. I have no idea what I paid for them now. So I want a little bit of color. Let's make that spool red. So I'm just going to add a little bit of color where it's really dark. Like you can't even see, really. Sorry if I'm reaching. Oh, no, my arm's not even in there. That's good. So I got a teeny tiny paintbrush. And you just get this wet and drag the color over. I don't want too intense a color, so that's fine. And if it's too wet, you can just take a Kleenex and blot. I wonder if I can get closer so you can see. Oh yeah, I can. Look at that. I'm pretty clever. And then to color in the spool, just lay down some color. That's the thing with this watercolor, you're just kind of hinting that there's color. And then get it damp and kind of drag the color across. I'll just blot that. Do I have a gray I could do with spoons? Not really, but I have a white. Let's see what happens when I color in white. See if that, it does add a little bit of something, doesn't it? Yeah, I like that. Let's add a little more red. You can also dip the end of the pencil into the water and just like not, you're barely touching the paper, you're just sort of letting the drop of water sort of go around. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Very happy with that. And if I could fix that up. So I've been practicing with that. I took some illustrations out of the book, and so this is coffee dyed and layered on another old page. So I kind of focused the drawing of the pencil on the darkest bits, and then when I'm watercoloring, then I bring the color down into the lighter bits. And I think that's really effective. So thank you to Wendy for that tutorial. I need to work on these a bit more because I don't think there's enough detail yet. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the other two tags that don't have this cutout. I tried to do the other two with the cutout, but because I already put the lace, the paper lace at the top, it looked kind of over. This one I took a cutout and wrapped right over the edge. So I'm going to color my prairie dog, and then I'll have to look up what color a snipe is. I'm guessing it's brown, and see what I can do with that. I watched another video about how to make envelopes. So this is going to be part of the envelope. So that'll be another video. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing a couple of my vintage finds and seeing how I'm doing with my junk journal. Take care.